Just the night before, she had called off her boyfriend. Clearly, this is telling the man not to come looking for her again. Her dream to be a perfect wife, and mom needs cash. Only a rich tycoon can make it real. He holds the daughter his wife had. The tycoon pampered her like a princess. The woman naturally became a queen, but a pair of eyes in the building across is staring at everything in the mansion. The next day, a mysterious letter arrives in the hands of the woman's ex-boyfriend. Inside was the ex-daughter's toothbrush and a paternity report. Opening the report, the man is shocked. Unbeknownst to him, he has a daughter. Eagerly, he rushes to Yan Zhen's daughter's school. By then, the little girl is crossing after school. Watching her hesitating at the traffic light, the man is 100% certain the girl is his own daughter because they both suffer from genetic colorblindness. Full of love, he scoops the girl in. He vows to snatch her away no matter what, but the law reminds him as long as the child was born in marriage, it belongs to both of them regardless of blood relation. The only hope is for them to split. The overjoyed man eagerly calls Yan Zhen over, but faced with the man's questioning, the madman had Yan Zhen by the neck. He shoved her against the wall. "You really sent my daughter to heat darling? When did you find out?" Realizing she lived lavishly all along, Yan Zhen would never divorce. The next day, the man showed up at the parents' meeting uninvited. But unexpectedly, he met the tycoon. Clearly for his own flesh and blood, no matter how powerful the tycoon is, the man decided to risk everything to confront him. The tycoon seemed to say something. Watching the tension between the two below, the teacher at the podium knew his 10-year plan was unfolding. The drama of revenge was finally beginning. Years ago, school bullies tormented. Her memory was still vividly etched. Leading them was the one right to the tycoon. Yan Zhen and her ex-boyfriend Yan Zhen. She begged them on her knees to spare her, but her pleas only intensified the bullies' cruelty. She quickly told the teacher, but the bullies were children of the local tycoon. The perhaps teacher acted indiscriminately and hit Dongmin right away. She reported it to the police, but the tycoon's power was overwhelming. Everything seemed futile. Finally, on a cold morning, she slowly walked to the river's deepest part, but at that moment, she noticed not far away, an elderly woman was seeking death just like her. Dongmin's kindness instinctively drew her towards the old lady. With tremendous effort, she finally pulled the lady ashore. Feeling the coldness of the sea, the old woman changed her mind about dying. She told Dongmin, "The river's too cold now. We might as well wait until spring to die." But the cold winter was not so easy to endure. Dongmin's wounds felt like thousands of ants gnawing at her. Even lying in the snow without clothes, she didn't feel the cold at all. Overwhelmed, Dongmin applied to leave school. She was bullied at school. This decision impacted the teacher's career. Instead, she got beaten by the homeroom teacher. In the end, the bully's mother gave Dongmin's mom a large sum of money. This allowed her to apply as a guardian. After getting the cash, the woman fled at night. From then on, Dongmin began her work life, learning the bully wanted to be a great wife, where they once bullied her. After receiving an affirmative response, Dongmin shared her dream. "Starting today, my dream is to be you. See you later." At that line about waiting to die in winter, Dongmin was successfully pulled back from the abyss. That fierce desire for revenge drove her. It sparked her whole life's change. Dongmin, working and studying, indeed, did not waste her hard work. Years later, she got into college as she wished. The former queen bee became a well-known weather broadcaster. She married the tycoon, fulfilling her dreams. Her dream of being a great wife and mom. Learning that tycoon loves Go passionately. During that time, she met Go master Zhuruzen. He became her mentor. Seasons changed, and after months of hard work, her skills were now exceptional. She could defeat anyone. In the Go club, she'd tie her hair up high. Her superb skills instantly attracted the crowd. The tycoon was among them, while her opponent was still pondering. The tycoon tracked closely and saw exactly 10. The tycoon wanted to speak to her, yet Dongmin never glanced in his direction. Back home, the tycoon analyzed their game. He couldn't understand why she had so many chances to win. Why wait until 10 points? Dongmin was actually waiting for his arrival. That night, Yanzhen felt her husband's coldness for the first time. He looked around, secretly hoping, but he never saw the person he was waiting for. Just as he was about to turn and leave, a familiar figure suddenly passed by him. Her long hair fluttered in the wind and nearly brushed at the tycoon's face. He walked straight up to Dongmin. He was just as equal as the other rivals. Driven by inner desire, the quiet tycoon surprisingly spoke first. He wanted to know everything about Dongmin, but Dongmin was just focused on the game. Once he got the money, Dongmin wanted to go, but the man called out to him. He offered 50 to get Dongmin to play again. Dongmin had finally achieved his goal. He successfully caught tycoon's attention. This brought her a step closer to her revenge. Later, Dongmin went to the store for snacks. As expected, the man followed him. This was part of Dongmin's plan, because this was the man's necessary route home. He invited Dongmin to study Go together when free. She said their new homeroom teacher was named Zhong Wan. Yanzhen was instantly shocked. She hurried to school at full speed. That girl, who was begged at her feet, begged for mercy, is shockingly her daughter's teacher. But despite her enormous power as a wealthy tycoon, Yan Zhen didn't take her seriously at all. But a text message sent chills down her spine. That teacher who helped bully Wendy years ago mysteriously died in an accident. The bully team of 5 is still chatting, discussing how much money to contribute. It's her first time facing such a death threat. So she used her connections to find the principal, hoping the principal could expel Wendy. But the principal told her Wendy is personally assigned by the chairman. He has no power over this because the chairman has leverage over Wendy. But Yanzhen doesn't know this yet. With no other options, she had to give up. As she passed her daughter's classroom, she saw Wendy standing behind her daughter holding a pair of scissors. Wendy found out a secret then. It turned out the bully's daughter was actually colorblind. This was the same as when they bullied. Everyone was just like that then. As long as she gets the proof, Wendy could easily take control of Yanzhen. So she began casting her net. She wanted to outsmart all the bullies like a game of Go, watching them struggle in pain. Soon, she set her sights on Quan, on Zha's sidekick, Little San. Little San was a powerless brat. He had always latched onto the 3 tyrants of the bully gang. He wanted to be their friend. The class defined the chasm of friendship. For years, he was treated like a dog by the trio. Realizing this, Dongyan revealed a staggering secret to the man. They had once bullied another girl. The poor girl ultimately took her life by jumping off, but in reality, she was pushed. Little San asked who the killer was, but Dongyan asked for something in return. Eager Little San didn't let Dongyan down. He brought proof of Dad's figure 3, Lilith's drug purchase records. He also managed to steal another henchwoman's phone. It's Parker. Well done. After learning Parker was the killer, he didn't gather the key proof and rushed to blackmail Parker. Right off the bat, he demanded billions from Parker. He shamelessly even asked for a bodily exchange. Noble Miss Parker had never known Shane like this. In a frenzy, she swamped a liquor bottle with what Little San shared. Donald first found the blonde sidekick, Bella. She has a rough past. Finally, she caught one, but her future mother-in-law made things difficult for him. She wanted him to get checked before marriage, but also demanded family relations and college diploma. That day, Bella was charming her rich mother-in-law. Dongyan rushed over. Even more absurd, Dongyan was an old friend of her mother-in-law, worried Dongyan might ruin her wedding. Bella quickly chased after Dongyan. She knelt before Dongyan. She apologized for the harm she caused Dongyan back then, and said those days were forced by the school bully. If he didn't obey, he'd end up like Dongyan. I hadn't even started yet, and you are already kneeling? Dongyan suddenly grabbed a stick. He swung it at Bella. She immediately screamed. She has now quit her job as a flight attendant. If this marriage fails, all that awaits her is a dead end. See, soft methods fail. Bella surprisingly went for a hard tactic. Damn it! What do you want? But Dongyan directly threw out Bella. He had Bella's lost phone from days ago. Bella knew the phone held records from her flight attendant days. Records of special passengers. If her mother-in-law found out, she'd be ruined. But then Dongyan chose to forgive her. This wasn't Dongyan being merciful. Instead, Jessica still had her uses. In the room, a woman was in withdrawal. She writhed in pain. She was Layla, the 3rd member of the bullies. She screamed for her parents to send her to Holland because it was legal there to use drugs. Her father, a priest, was helpless. He could only take her to church every week. But this time, she suddenly received a text from Dongyan. It had a few photos. Dongyan had left drugs in a chapel in a construction room. How could Leela resist this temptation? After Leela left, Dongyan messaged the church group, inviting them to a show in the workroom. And so, the congregation spread the word, eagerly heading over. After getting high, Leela drifted into a haze. The euphoric high made her feel alive. After a commotion, a crowd had gathered outside. People were capturing the absurdity with their cameras. No one expected the pastor's daughter to be a junkie. Meanwhile, Dongyan had someone anonymously post online a weather reporter's school bullying tale. But the article cited Dongyan at 18. All the bullying evidence he gathered, including how Yanzhen harmed others and even killed. The internet's power is immense. Through the clues they found, online users quickly suspected Yanzhen. 2 major news stories swiftly took the headlines. After all, Sarah was lying helplessly on the ground. The news with images was even more explosive. Time suppressed Yanzhen's scandal. At this point, that wave girl was useful. Dongyan had her deceive Sarah, saying it was all Yanzhen's doing. As news of Yanzhen's bullying spread, classmates' news went viral online. Yanzhen was using news about her drugs to overshadow the heat of her school bullying. Unexpectedly, Golden Hair Monster missed this simple tactic. Without hesitation, they shared Yanzhen's high school bullying, all the bullying videos online. At Sun Minghuo's funeral, the bullying quartet rarely gathered together. Enemies see each other, tension rises. Soon, Sarah and Yanzhen began to argue. Both of their lies were exposed. Facing such shame, Lisa couldn't take it anymore. She took off her fancy hair pencil. She stabbed deep into Jessica's throat. The group of 5 was wiped out, and the trap set by Dongnan from the start was about to be wrapped up. Yanzhen's capture made Cui Zhejian more determined to reclaim his daughter, so he faced the tycoon head-on, but he was brutally beaten. That night, when Zhejian learned that He Duyong was taking their daughter abroad, he rushed to her construction site to find her. In the car, he used eye drops, but his eyes started to hurt. It turned out his eye drops had been. As he shouted in chaos, a large truck came barreling towards him. After that day, Cui Zhejian went missing. People only found his damaged empty car. Only one person knew where Zhejian went. He felt the high rise of the construction site. Then he was gently pushed into the deep cement below. Cui Zhejian saw only black, white, and gray. Finally fell into eternal darkness, plunged into endless dark, and Yanzhen's final fate was to sit alone in a corner of the prison, bullying by cellmates like before, reporting the weather for them, to dance for those girls. Dongnan's visit completely marked this. Revenge drew a perfect conclusion. She told Yanzhen she should feel wronged for her imprisonment. It turns out Jane's staff has hidden reasons. When Yanzhen ran out to seek help to clean the scene, a cry for help from James came from next door. The girl on duty opened the door to check, but she was tightly grabbed by James. Remembering his usual violence against her, the girl picked up the bottle and struck him back. And that was the true cause of Jane's death. She too was bullied in high school. She immediately found Dongnan. Dongnan told the girl to put the bottle back. The culprit will definitely be Yanzhen. Why?